Hey guys, Rexasaur here, and welcome to Update Monday. That is what I'm doing on the 21st of June 2021. How is everyone this fine week? What happened last week? I finished Ratchet and Clank already. It was really good. It was a bit short. I think from not playing it now for a few days, I can tell you it was probably not as long as it could have been. But other than the fact that it was a bit short, it was fantastic. Every single aspect of the game I cannot fault. It was relatively bugless as well, which was fantastic for a new release game. I think there were one or two little things that I was like, oh shit, what about obviously it's a 3D platformer game, so I fell into a lot of things, but I managed to get myself out of them a lot, so I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it's okay then, because obviously there are some situations where you end up stuck and you're like, fuck, which I've done many times on, say, Miles Morales, which came out with the PS5, so, but the game is fantastic, so if you have a PS5, I strongly recommend the game, even if it is a bit short. Anyway, other than that, there's not really much else going on. I started playing the Assassin's Creed Ezio collection because now I've got no games to play. So that's happening. I'm playing through Assassin's Creed 2 at the moment. I have played through Assassin's Creed 2 before, but I've forgotten a lot of it because it was a while ago. And I played through Brotherhood even before that, because Assassin's Creed Brotherhood was the first game I ever played from the Assassin's Creed franchise. So yeah, I just need to play through the game, and it's fun. It's a bit I don't want to say it's a bit buggy, that's not the case. It's Ubisoft basically, for Assassin's Creed 2 anyway, the main map is completely laggy as fuck. And apparently this is on every platform, and Ubisoft have been like, we're not going to fix this. It's like, okay, cool. So it's very frustrating, especially with Assassin's Creed 2, which using the map to navigate where you're supposed to go is kind of a big deal in the game. So it's very frustrating because you do use the map quite a bit. So it's like, what the fuck's going on here? But hey ho, it's good fun. There's a lot of shit to the game as well. It's like I completely forgot just how much stuff is on that game. But yeah. Sorry about that random cut there. That never happens. I was rudely interrupted. Anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, Assassin's Creed 2 is good. It's a good game. I'll let you know when I finish it, I guess, which will probably happen at some point. It's quite long, actually. It's probably likely that I'm not going to finish it by the next one. What else is happening? World of Tanks. I know no one cares about it, but there's a big patch coming out this weekend. Not this weekend, during the week, midweek. The new Battle Pass is coming out for that. Lots of fun stuff there. So yeah, pretty excited for that. They're doing very big changes to the game, so that's nice to see. Other things that have been going on, not much. We watched, well, I only had time to watch half of it, but I watched Dodgeball. I can't remember what the full title is, but basically Dodgeball, it has Ben Stiller in it. It's a fun movie. It's very, let's just say everyone who was present was cringing at certain jokes that were made at the expense of the LGBT community. Which, for 2004, yeah, I think that was probably the tail end of when those were sort of widely accepted as being the norm. But I think even at the time they may have been a bit much. But anyway, it was still a fun film. You got to look past those things. In the end, the film was made in that time when the ecosystem was for that, and okay with that, and we've moved on from then, and that's fine. We obviously would never make a movie like that, or at least we would make a movie like that, but without those kinds of jokes going forward. But it's quite interesting to look back and see, that's actually oh god, I was about to say that's only 16 years ago, but actually it's fuck, that's 16 years ago. No wonder we've moved on as a society. Fuck me. How old was I 16 years ago? I was 11. Oh, that's depressing. But then again, it doesn't really, I guess movies like that kind of let you know what the mentality of the people watching those movies were like at the time, and why there's still some pushback against LGBT rights and stuff, if that's what the movies that these people were making were like and the jokes that they were putting in. It's just an interesting, like, it's not a political commentary at all. It's just interesting to see, like, the product, like, what went into making those jokes in that movie. Who made that decision? Who thought this was a good idea? And where they are maybe now. Have they, like, continued to have those kind of same ideas, or are they just like, oh my god, I hate the fact that I wrote these jokes for this movie? Or it's interesting. It's interesting to think about, but that's just because that's the kind of shit that I'm interested in. What else has been happening? Not much else. There's a lot of games that I've been, like, purchasing in the background with the intention to play them, but I've sort of been distracted by other things at the moment, and going forward I'm probably going to be more distracted as it goes, as we approach into the summer and stuff. So yeah, a lot of fun. We had a massive heat wave. I know everyone did in Europe and probably in America. I think it was kind of global. It was kind of like a minor global heat wave that we had over the course of the last week. But in the UK at least, definitely not for Latvia, as some person keeps continuously telling me. Definitely in the UK, it's got much cooler. It's 11 degrees this morning, which is quite cool compared to the 20-something that we had like a week ago. So none of my windows have been open for the last 2 days, which is pretty well. I mean, they have, but very briefly, and as soon as it got cold, I closed them rather than continuously open non-stop. So that was interesting. Other thing which I know that maybe half the people who watch this might care, actually, probably only 1 or 2 people might care, the footy. What is even happening in this Euros? Like, it's so much. I don't know, like, so World of Tanks, I don't know, I can't remember if I spoke about this last week, but World of Tanks has an event going on where you can predict the results, if it's a win, draw, or loss on each of the games, and then if you get your prediction right, you get some rewards. So I've been putting my predictions in weekly, or daily, I should say. And my predictions are mostly correct for a lot of the things. However, that doesn't mean that I particularly enjoy the predictions that I'm making, because I'm, like, going against Wales some of the times, or going, like, against certain teams that I kind of want to see win, and then sometimes it's just like, what the fuck happened? So I put a prediction down for Portugal to beat Germany, because that was probably going to happen, and France to beat Hungary, because that should have happened, and neither of those things happened. And I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, Germany did play really good against France, but we beat them because, you know, France is a world-class team with some really world-class players all over the place. Germany have some world-class players, but they're, like, some of them are really old, some of them aren't quite, like, new, a bit new to the world stage, so, you know, it makes sense. And then they just absolutely thrashed Portugal, albeit Portugal did manage to help them by scoring 2 goals on their own team, so GG there. But, like, and then against Hungary, I don't know what the fuck happened. Like, we were playing good, like, we weren't playing bad, we were playing good, maybe not as good as we could have, but it's just like all the misses that we were getting. I was just very frustrated by the end of the game, basically. I was really frustrated. A lot of people were okay and were happy, that I was talking to anyway. They were like, oh yeah, you know, Hungary played really well and stuff like that. I'm just like, I don't think they did play really well. I think they were just cunts the entire time, which I guess is well playing. Sure, yeah, their keeper was alright, but, like, we missed so many opportunities, particularly Benzema just missing, like, I don't know how many opportunities he missed. He's a fucking striker for the French team. I think he was, oh god. I don't usually, like, football is not something that I'm particularly, like, invested in ever, like, unless it's an international stage, but I've never been this invested in football before. And it's just very frustrating, and I don't like it, and I want to stop. Help me, someone. Yeah, so that was my football rant. In other news, I've reinstalled Future. No, I haven't. Yeah, that's about it. That's basically it. Last week, we read more of Fellowship of the Ring. We got to Bree, and Frodo fell off a table. That's actually a recap that is accurate. So next time we will have Blades in the Dark, I think, happens, although I can't remember where that happens. But it'll be relatively soon, I'm sure. So yeah, tomorrow we will be reading onwards. So they're in Bree, they've just met Strider, and Frodo fell off a table. Yeah, so it's pretty good so far. I'm really, really enjoying the book, and I hope that you will join me. because the book is great, and you should all listen to it on my Twitch TV/LordRexasol. Lord_Rexasol? Fuck. I can't remember. Either way, that's it. That's my update Monday. It was a longer than usual one, or despite the interruption. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope that you guys have a good week, and I will talk to you during the week, I guess. And yeah, very well. Bye bye.